Hello. Now, continuing our work with finding the equations of circles, I'm going to show you or give you a demonstration of the geometry method of solving these problems, the method that I recommend you use most of the time. So I have 2 points that I'm told are on a circle, A and B, and I'm told that I have a line that goes through the center of the circle. So this line goes through the center of the circle. It contains the center of the circle. So the very first job that we're going to do is draw a sketch of this situation. It's absolutely critical that we draw a sketch to keep track of what we have to do. So to draw a sketch of a straight line is much easier if we have it in the form y is equal to mx plus c. So what I'm going to do is minus 2x from both sides, and I get the equation of my line is y is equal to minus 2x, and I have my 2 points. So I now know the general setup of my sketch. I know that I have to have 2, 0, 3 minus 3, and I know that I have y is equal to minus 2x. Where does this line cross the y-axis? It crosses it at 0 because the y-intercept would be the constant on the end, and there isn't anything there, which means it's plus 0. So I now know roughly what I need to include in my sketch. So I'm going to try and draw it out. It's very important that we understand that this is not an accurate diagram. We try to get this roughly correct to assist us with our intuition, and that's all it's there for. But it is extremely important for us being able to do our problems well. So I have my point 2, 0 is one of the points on a circle. 3 minus 3 is another point on the circle. So that's A and B. And then I have a straight line that is given by y is equal to minus 2x. So I know I cross at y is 0. And I have a slope of minus 2. So if I drop down by 2, I go across by 1. So I know that that's another point on my line. And as best as I am able to draw this, I have my line going down something like that. And I have these 2 points are on the circle, and this line goes through the center of the circle. So I'm going to try and draw that circle in very approximately. Again, this is to help with my intuition. This is not that I'm going to draw this and then figure out what the answer is. But this now gives me a roadmap for what I'm going to do. So what information have I got? Well, I have this line is going through the center of my circle. And I know that I'm going to try and get the equations of 2 lines that go through the center of my circle and use simultaneous equations to solve them and find the center, and then use one of the points on my circle to find the radius. So if I have my 2 lines here, I'll switch back to red for some contrast. We'll have a red line and a blue line going through our circle. If I have my line segment here going between A and B, I know the perpendicular bisector of this chord. The line going between A and B is a chord of the circle. The perpendicular bisector will go through the center. So the perpendicular bisector of AB, so the perpendicular line to AB going through the center of AB. So that's the midpoint between AB. I get the midpoint between AB and get the perpendicular slope to AB. That'll give me the information for the equation of this dashed red line. And where this dashed red line crosses the blue line, the y is equal to minus 2x line, that is going to give me the center of my circle. And then I can use the center and the distance formula out to one of my points to get the radius, which is 2 pieces of information I need. So now that I've used my diagram, I have a clear picture of what it is I need to do. So this is the power of our sketch. We can now use it to construct what steps we need to do. So I need the equation of this line. So my blue line I've been given in the question is called K. I'm going to call my other line L, so it's easier for me to keep track of it. So I need this equation of the line L. So I need the equation of the line L. So I'm looking for the equation of a line in order to get simultaneous equations with my red and blue line. So what do I need to use? I need to use the equation formula for a straight line. I need this equation of the red line L. What do I need? I need the slope. Well, the slope of that is going to be the perpendicular slope between AB, and my point on the line is going to be the midpoint. So the midpoint of AB is going to give me my x1 and y1 for my formula. So I now know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the slope of AB, and I'm going to get the perpendicular to it, and I'm going to get the midpoint of AB, and that's going to give me the point I need on the line L. So let's jump into it. We write down our formula, and we write down the points that we're going to use so we don't make any mistakes. The midpoint formula is just the average of the x's and the average of the y's. And we know that we're going to go to our log tables in order to get this information. So don't try and do it from memory. Go to your log tables and get the information. And A is at 2, 0. B is at 3 minus 3. So this is x1, y1, x2, y2. We're going to be using lots of equations throughout. Make sure that you keep rewriting the points that you're actually using as you go on. So subbing in, we will get we will get 2 plus 3 all over 2 on minus 3 plus 0 over 2. So we get 5 over all over 2 minus 3 over 2. That's our midpoint. That's going to be the point we use to get the equation of the line L. Then we need the slope of AB so that we can get the perpendicular to it. Write down our formula. And sub in. So minus 3 minus 0 all over 3 minus 2 is equal to minus 3 over 1. So the slope of L then, is going to be perpendicular to that. It'll be the perpendicular to the slope of AB. So the slope of L is going to be, flip the fraction and change the sign, is going to be a third. So now I'm in a position, I have the slope and I have the point on the line. I now have enough information to find the equation of L. Label everything that you're doing as you go. I have my slope. So I have y minus 3 over 2 is equal to a third on x minus 5 over 2. Now, when we tidy up that equation, that will become x minus 3y is equal to 7. So this is just some basic algebraic rearranging, getting rid of some fractions, which we're all able to do. So we now have the equation of the line L. So that's L. Now I get into finding the center of my circle. So I'm looking for the intersection of L and K, which is going to be the center of my circle. Center. So I have the equation I started out with. The equation of K is 2x plus y is equal to 0. The equation of L I just found is x minus 3y is equal to 7. Now I need to get the same coefficient in front of both of them, so I'm going to multiply my second equation by 2, or minus 2 I should say. So I end up with 2x plus 2y is equal to, 2x plus y, my apologies. 2x plus y minus 2x plus 6y is equal to minus 14. When I add those two equations together, I get 7y is equal to minus 14. I divide both sides by 7. I get y is equal to minus 2. I then sub back in to one of my equations. 2x plus y is equal to 0. And I know that y is equal to minus 2. And I will get that when I sub in, I will get that x is equal to 1. So I know that the center of my circle is at x is 1, y is minus 2. Now to find the radius. So I now know the location of my center. To find the radius, I just take one of my points and I'm going to use the distance formula. So my center is at 1, minus 2, and I'll take the point A at 2, 0, and I'm going to get at the distance between those 2 points, which is going to equal the radius. That's my x1, y1. I'm just going to use the standard distance formula. So I get distance is equal to the radius is equal to x2 minus x1 to be squared plus y2 minus y1 to be squared. We sub in and we get 2 minus 1 to be squared plus 0 minus minus 2 to be squared, and we get square root of 5. So our radius is equal to the square root of 5. So we can use our formula. You could use either formula, but the easiest one with the information that we've gotten here is our unmultiplied out version, because it means we don't have to find the value of c. And we sub in our center. Our center at 1 minus 2 is at h and k, and our radius is root 5. So we get x minus 1 to be squared plus y plus 2 to be squared is equal to square root of 5 squared is 5. So that gives us the equation of our circle. So again, the sketch is the absolute heart of solving this problem, because it tells us what steps we need to follow. And that's what we need for the geometry method.